Water Warriors, solving water in rural America.
We wanted to get away from the city. This is our little piece of heaven right here, it is.
We moved here in the 80s, I think it was 85. We have 5 1/4 acre, yeah, and the woods in the back are ours. It goes pretty much to the end of the woods there.
I love the quietness, but living out in the valley, you still have a lot of family. It's a close-knit community. Everybody seems to take care of everybody else, so I love it out here. Or you have to get accustomed to having a well. In the city, basically there's no maintenance. You turn the water on, it comes out of the faucet. You flush the toilet, it goes away. Out here, you have to maintain those systems. That was a big learning curve for us because we really didn't have a clue. We wanted to do something to give back, so we went into foster care.
I would have kept them all. We adopted 2, and I would have adopted more, you know. You love them. You know, you don't just foster them, and I loved every one of them.
And we really didn't realize, hey, we have a problem because it was just the 2 of us. And the foster kids come along, and all of a sudden they're running 2 and 3 bath waters a night, and there's no water pressure. There's just no water. And then when the water did come, it was brown, brackish, smelled, and then you'd have to get that out of the system. And usually by the time you get that out of the system, you run out of water again.
We just adapted to it. You know, we used paper plates.
Military showers, you know, 1 minute, water on, water off, soap, water on, rinse, get out. If I get a drink of water, fill the cup up, I'll drink half the water, and I've got a pitcher sitting there. I dump that water into the pitcher for the dogs.
These are for the dogs. This is so I got water to make sure I have water for the dogs, and that's what we do. And we have a pitcher in there by their water bowl that we fill their water bowl up every day. It just eventually got to where we had to buy a lot of water and use bottled water.
If we run the dishwasher, we turn it on at night and hope we don't run out of water in the morning. You know, we have water in the morning, so it's just been low yield, and there's nothing they could do to repair the one that we had. We got to the point where we just had to have a new well, and we got a permit, got it all set up, and at the same time, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And we had to put that completely on hold because that was not cheap. And I have macular degeneration, so I get shots in my eyes. And my knees are bad, but I'm not going to do anything. I will baby them till I can't baby them anymore. It's just, things were piling up, and we just didn't have the money. And we couldn't do it. We were out of money, basically. I mean, you know, it was just getting really bad, and my husband looked online and he found the answer.
We're just out here helping Waterboys with a project to help a family who's had some rough times in the past with their health and different things, didn't have an adequate, good water supply.
A lot of people don't realize this, but you know, there's about 2.2 million people in rural areas that they don't have access to either water or good water, clean water.
So I'm a 2nd generation well driller. My father, Richard Mount, started it, and I've got 2 brothers that thought they might want to drill wells, and they didn't like it. And I claimed I never would be a well driller, and I tried it and I loved it, and I've been in the industry ever since. I like providing water for people. When I turned 18, I went in full force and just helped him, and we just slowly grew the company and to what it is today. So the old well they had was an old 4-inch well, which by law today they have to be 5-inch or bigger. Several years ago, the Richards were experiencing dirty water and not enough water, and the quality just really went downhill. It was a steel casing, so more than likely it could have gotten a hole in it or something. It was compromised and it was just not a good well anymore. So our process of it is actually drilling the well.
We drilled our 8 3/4 hole to get the hole started, and we went 160 feet down. So after we got the casing in, we put neat cement in for grout, grouted it to the surface. Next, we basically just leave it sit, let the cement cure, and then we'll come back in with a 4 3/4 bit that just barely fits inside that pipe. We're gonna drill out of that pipe, and hopefully our aquifer is, pretty close. So whenever we get to that, that's when it'll start making water. That's when it'll be ready to install our Goulds pump.
We don't want the old well to contaminate the new one, so we got to plug that with bentonite.
We're gonna mix the grout in the hopper, and then this is actually gonna go down the old well. I'm gonna run it down to where it just about hits the bottom of the well. And then I'm gonna pump bentonite slurry in it, which that essentially, when it comes in contact with water, it becomes like a really thick clay. The more water you put on this, it'll just grow and grow and grow and just become real thick, and it just seals everything really well. That ensures that we have everything, all the crevices, any water making formations. That's all going to be sealed, so no contaminants or anything can get down there in the future.
So the next step, they're going to pull the well cap off, and they'll set the pump, hook up the electricity, and then they'll run a water test to clear the well out and just make sure they've got pressure and everything in the system.
So this is a 10 gallon a minute Goulds, and we're going to hang it about 240 feet, and it should give them an ample supply into the house. Then we're going to hook our pump wire going all the way up to the surface. We got a long string of pipes. We got 240 feet. So that's just an extra protection to kind of keep everything so it doesn't slap around when the pump kicks on.
This is actually the midway point.
What we're going to do here, since this is a brand new well, we're going to let this run a few more minutes and make sure all the minerals that are just in there from the drilling and stuff are out.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
It got clear very quickly, so we were able to test the water.
Okay, so what we're looking at on pH, 7 is a perfect pH, that's balanced. If it's under 7, it's acidic. If it's over 7, it's alkaline. And this one here is just pretty darn close to perfect.
The water was only 12 grains hard, which is not very hard, so they don't have much calcium in it. So they can determine whether they need a softener or not. It's very similar to city water.
So I normally put 3 capfuls of this stuff in.
So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna give some chlorine tablets until we smell that. Once we smell the chlorine coming out of here, we'll shut it off, set it down into the water line going into the house, and then we'll pump that chlorine into the house, and that way, immediately everything's getting filled and cleaned with chlorine as it goes through.
I'm going to take a shower for probably an hour.
The first thing I'm going to do is take a nice hot bath in my new tub. I can't wait.
Anytime that you can give time and effort into a situation that's on the long term is going to help a human being, I mean, it feels good.
This personally was a big deal to us because I went to church with this family here. I know they've been through some physical struggles and things in the last few years. And just a little bit ago, we got the system turned on. The homeowner came over and took a drink right out of the well.
That's great. Come here, Paula.
it's really satisfying to be able to upgrade them to something where they have plenty of water and clean water.
This is amazing. We're blessed.
It's amazing. It's a blessing. We cried. We cried when we found out that they were going to put our well in because we were at a loss. We didn't know what we were going to do.
It was a tearful moment. It really was a tearful moment. My wife and I say, you know, it's a Jesus moment. We've had lots of Jesus moments.
We have had several, you know, with our health and stuff. We've made it through a lot of things. And this is another Jesus moment. It's a blessing.
Water Warriors, powered by Goulds Water Technology, solving water in rural America.